What's going on, guys? Bingo here, and I'm with the Duel Factory for the 8th installment of X-2 Drop, a weekly podcast series we're focusing on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, the metagame, set releases, whatever we feel like talking about. And this week, the topic of discussion is Dark Neostorm and how we feel like it'll affect the metagame. So, Dark Neostorm is legal May 3rd, I think, the Friday before, or the Friday after we're recording this. And it's got some pretty impactful cards in it. And after the ban list, I feel like the format is going to definitely have a noticeable shift after Dark Neostorm. But, Joe, what are your first thoughts on the topic?
First thoughts on Dark Neostorm is there are several interesting cards that came out of the set. One of them is one that we've been waiting for a long time, which is Cherubini. To me, I think that card gives BA a huge boost, but honestly, I think it's too late in the format it's coming into. Another interesting card, Signet Mining, because it's essentially Rhoda for Cyberse decks, right? And that seems like it's going to be insane in Salamangreats, because now you have essentially 9 Rhodas to get to your what's it called? Gazelle to start your turns. You have 2 interesting hand traps, but I think they're mood points, and it's just one of those things. I don't know how it's going to be yet, but you never know with cards like that.
This set didn't introduce a new archetype, so it's kind of just individual cards. There's nothing that's okay, Zoo is in this set, that's going to completely shift the format. They're all things that'll make small differences here or there, but they're noticeable.
The card that gives the biggest impact, and is the scariest one to me, is the Spell Mining card. Let's see if I can't find it.
You're talking about the field spell?
Yeah, the one that says you can't activate monster effects and you can't attack. That card's going to be scary.
Yeah, that card's never going to be played in a fun strategy. It's always going to be something degenerate, or the decks everyone hates playing against, right? You can't play decks.
Yeah, it's it's already been seeing, what is it? Good old Douglas apparently played it this weekend because he picked up Mystic Mines before the event started over at our locals and stuff like that, and he just opened Mystic Mine and burned his opponent to death.
Yeah, that's the one viable strategy, or semi-viable strategy people are trying it with right now, is Chain Burn. So let's just, I got it sorted from rarity, from secret down to common. So let's go through the secrets one at a time, and then just go down the list.
Go for it.
Alright, so the first secret rare in the set is No Material. This is TCG exclusive. I think people are hyping this card way up there. It's a good card. It's got its uses, but I don't think it's its format for one. What do you think?
To me, when you look at No Material, it's like Winter Cherries, right? So you only want to see it going second. And then No Material also has the downside that you can only activate it if you don't control any cards. So it's now, obviously, if you're going second against an opponent who's trying to wombo combo you and you draw obviously the card's going to be insane. But it has the same problem as Reapers. It's one of those, you have to have it going second, and you have to open it in your 5-card hand. Now, granted, you have cards like Phantasme that, during your turn, you can do it, but then that also conflicts with No Material. So,
yeah, it just has such a heavy restriction that you have to see it, and then after turn 0, it's just a dead card. So,
exactly.
In the current format, it definitely has its uses, hitting a mermaid, hitting a debug, or hitting a normal summon on Salamangreat, or even waiting till they go into their Balinks play so they can't reincarnate the Balinks. But go ahead.
You can kind of go over the matchups with it, No Material. So say you're playing against an Orca strategy, right? All you have to do is wait for him to put the Phoenix or the Mermaid up top. Not Phoenix and Mermaid, but Phoenix and Cerberus up top, and you just No Material it, and they don't get a play going second, and that's really powerful.
Yeah.
And then you also have, for example, Salamangreat, you're saying debug, and you keep them from making Balinks. If they have an extender, they still get a play, but zone placement becomes important at that point. Thunder I mean,
it doesn't do
Thunder
much.
can do so many things.
Yeah, it doesn't do much against Thunder. Striker, it's not good against Striker, like people say.
Well, no,
it is,
because
but
half the time that you're doing your plays, all your Striker plays involve you going into Ray, and Ray can just tag out.
yeah, and even if you hit the first link they use, they still got a +1 from the link. So
Exactly.
I just don't think this is a card that's going to come out in a specific tier 0 format that has a high impact when a specific play is stopped. I feel like that's where, like, this is going to drop from 70 down to like $30, and it's just going to sit there till it's broken, and then it's
I feel like this card will be good if we ever get to another Spiral format where everyone's wanting to go. That's when I think it'll be good, but until then, I would not pay $70 for it.
I mean, just look at this card in Spiral format, hitting the first double helix. Like, it's not great, but it definitely would have messed up their combo string
for sure.
But all right, I think the biggest thing with this card is you have to control no cards, and if it didn't have that, it would definitely be different. But
if it was more like Reaper, where your opponent just had to control more cards than you, it would have been a lot better. Like, a lot better.
But I'm okay with it. It'll see its time, but I just don't think now is the time. All right, the next one is Nightmare Incarnation Idly. I mean, if extra links become... This is the one that blows up extra link, right? Or 7 or more link rating on the field or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to it right now. So level mind monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, and you can only use each effect once per turn. If the total link rating of the monsters on the field is 8 or more, you can special summon this card from your hand, which, I mean, against extra link decks, that's kind of cool, I guess. And then if this card is special summoned while your opponent controls more link monsters than you do, you can send all monsters on the field to the graveyard. That effect could be relevant. I think it depends more on its format.
Yeah, obviously this can be summoned off Mermaid, which is the biggest plus. So you always have, if you have access to 2 monsters, you have access to this. So like you said, it depends on the format. It doesn't destroy, it sends, so it can break a full Nightmare extra link. Will it see play this format? Probably not.
I don't know. I think because it's level 9, I think you'll see. It was like the biggest thing we've seen so far is Lithium did like replays with like True King Dinos and stuff like that, and it let him go into I can't remember what card he was using, but it was this and the Crawler level 9, and it was let him go into like Inner Blathnir and like King of Calamities like turn 1, but like you're playing it in a Dino strategy that's like already bricky as it is. So.
Yeah, True King Dinos is the only semi-viable rank 9 strategy that can take advantage, because Calamities is an extremely powerful card. Like, if Phantom Knights didn't get banned, the rank up spell, like, I was afraid of turn 1 Calamities. But
Shockmaster, bro. Shockmaster's hell of a card.
Yeah, it's scary. But I mean, this definitely can see its day. Again, I just don't think this is the time for it.
Not at all.
Alright, and this one, the Omni Dragon Bro Tour, this one's interesting. So I'll read the effect in case anybody doesn't know what it is. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, special summon this card from your graveyard or hand, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, discard 1 card, and if you do, add 1 monster from your deck to your hand with the same type and attribute as that target, but a different name. You can only use each effect of Omni Dragon Bro Tour once per turn. So this definitely has some pretty crazy combo potential, but it's dependent on your opponent. So, I mean, you can summon it off LP and do some stuff there, I know.
Yeah, for sure, being a dragon is actually a huge plus, but I don't know. It's one of those cards that, like, I think the format has to develop before it can do anything.
Yeah, this is such a niche role that it probably has some combos out there. Being able to summon it off LP. LP's a light dragon, right?
No, all the guard dragon link monsters are all dark.
Okay, so depending on what's on your board, see, that's the thing. It has a lot of potential because it can search just about anything. It just depends on what's on your field at the time. So no matter what, you'll be able to search a Dark Dragon, so you can always search Collapse Serpent.
That's a big thing. Like, it can search like the baby Chaos Dragons that let you do all the Guard Dragon combos, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's definitely something there. Maybe Danger Thunder will utilize it to summon off LP and make a combo string that way. So it goes from less variance. So do you draw your baby dragons, but now you know you can search the black one at any time. So this card, I think we need to keep an eye out for and start testing with, but I'm not the guy that makes those combos.
That's something I'll do for sure, because I think it might have a place in some decks like Guard Dragon Crusader or something like that, but we'll see.
Yeah. This card essentially says search anything, and I think that's the biggest potential it has.
Yep. Anytime you can search whatever you want, that's a big.
And the best part is it doesn't restrict you from using a card with that name that turn, which is surprising, actually, like now that I'm reading it again. So rotating any monster in your deck is extremely powerful. So I feel like this card's gonna definitely get broken at some point.
Only time will tell.
Alright, next one, Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, which is, I think, the worst TCG import name for a Ghost Sister yet.
I don't think that card's good at all. I really don't.
It's a tempo card. It's great. Here's where I think it'll see play is if you have side deck space and you're playing a control deck that goes towards time a lot, because it stops your opponent from playing. Like, if you're 5 minutes left in time and you gain 30,000 life, like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, it's just one of those, like, super niche cards, because, like, it's one of those things, like, you're not going to side it in if you know you have plenty of time. And, like, you're not going to side it in like, certain situations. Like, that's why I don't think, personally, the card's that great. Like, I think people are overhyping what it actually does.
Yeah, so, like, if I use this against Danger Thunder and they full combo, like, they don't care. Like, I'm not going to be able to play through their board. This is a neg 1, and all I'm doing is dying in 1 to 2 turns less, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't accomplish enough.
Yeah, so this is a time card. It could see its format, but it's more niche. It's your judgment call on whether or not you want to side it, you know?
Yeah, to me, there's just infinitely better cards.
Yeah, there's very rare occasions where I'm like, what other 3 cards can I side? Usually it's like, crap, I want to side like 21 cards. And
yeah, exactly.
The next one is the World Chalice, just to
care, whatever you want to call it.
World Chalice Miko. There we go.
That card is going to be insane.
Yeah, this card is broken. It has infinite combo potential. Its card search pool is massive. You get a Reborn, you get a Judgment. Like, this card's going to be used in a bunch of strategies.
It's one of those cards. It's like Denlong. If you could make a level 5, it had a spot. And like you were saying, being able to search World Chalice cards, doesn't it also float into another World Chalice monster?
Yeah, so if it's synchro summoned and sent from field to grave, you can special a World Chalice from your deck or grave. And that's just wild.
I've seen some combos with because since we lost Dark Matter Dragon, I've seen some Blue Eyes combos that are going around, and they're making room to make this card, and then when they link it off to make Land for Olympus and stuff like that, it gives you when you summon it, it searches the World Legacy Guard Dragon card, which is Monster Reborn for level 4 lower dragons, and then it also it floats out into World Chalice Guard Dragon, which is level 1 dragon, and then you just get a combo for free.
Yeah.
Like, that is insane to think about.
This is the cheapest secret in the set, and I definitely think it has the most just broad potential out of pretty much all of them. Maybe other than the next one, but everything else is niche and has its purpose. But this is just, if you can make a level 5, like, you should play this card.
It's generic, and it's got Denglong power.
Yeah, it has that like the World Legacy, like, archetype, I guess, is one of the massive card pools in the game, and they just keep releasing support for it. So this card just gets better and better
as time. Hell yeah, dude! This card.
You got World Legacy Guard Dragon. You got World Legacy Succession. Whatever the counter trap is.
There's counter trap, and there's another spell card too. I can't think of what it's called though.
Yeah. All right, Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax. This card is extremely good. It's a relatively generic Link 4, and I'm gonna read the effect because it's pretty good. So, while this Link summon card is on your field, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. It's got 3,000 attack. It's a Link 4. Once per battle during damage calc, if this card battles a special summon monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that opponent's monster's attack during damage calc only. If this Link summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, shuffle one card on the field into the deck.
That card's actually more insane than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this card protects itself. It can basically run over anything because almost no main deck monsters have more than 3,000 attack, and it gains attack for every extra deck monster, and it spins a card if you out it. So,
yeah, I didn't realize it also spun a card. Jesus.
Yeah, this card is extremely good. It might replace Boral Sword in some strategies because it's easier to make. You don't have to make that awkward like Link 2+2 like regular monsters. It's just 2+ monsters.
Yeah, it's gotta be linked with 2 special summon monsters from the extra deck.
Yeah.
I think this card definitely has a place in Pendulum because you're always summoning monsters from the extra deck. You're always summoning your Pendulum monsters from the extra deck, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think this is a lot better in Sky Striker because you can Shark Cannon back a Link 2. You can make a Link 2 extremely easily, and it's because in Striker, when you're going for Boral Sword, it's always really awkward trying to get the materials for Boral Sword and something to turn to defense position.
Mm-hmm.
So this card is really good. It's a really well-designed card, and I'm happy to see it come out. It's a lot more...
This card makes me want to play Invoked Mech Knight again, but...
Yeah, I've been trying to make a list for that, but it's still got the same struggles it's always had. Loses to everything.
I think we should make a list anyway and just do it.
I will. I've been meaning to play my Ulti Invos for a while. But really well designed card. So there's 2 secret rares left. One of them being Signet Mining. This is clearly designed for Salamangreat right now.
Signet Mining?
Yeah.
That card... So, Signet Mining to me is like, it's in a weird spot, right? So, on one hand, it's a Rhoda for any Cyberse monster, so I mean, it gets you straight to, like, Gazelle. But it's one of those things, like, me and my buddy Aldo were talking about, like, it's, like, the world's hugest Ash bait. It's, like...
Yeah.
It's like when you, pin call, and you don't have Dark Worm, that's really scary. But, like, the utility of the card has itself is, like, insane, because, like, say if you have this card, and you've already, like... I've seen this happen a lot of times, like, people have, like, the Rhoda, but they already search for combo. One of the niche interactions it has now is if you already have your combo, this card, because it specifically searches level 4 or lower Cyberse monsters, you can add cards like Flame Buffalo to just make your hand even better. And this is one of those cool things, like if you have any like Salamangreat in hand, like for example, we'll say Spinny, because that's the most common one, right? You can discard Spinny for the cost of Signet Mining, which is another real cool interaction it has with the deck, because it sends cards from your hand to the graveyard, which you kind of lack in that department. But you can send it, then add Gazelle to your hand, and then since the Salamangreat card went to the graveyard at the resolution of the card, you can activate Gazelle, and you can do your full combo without ever normal summoning.
Yeah, and then you just get a little extra draw with Buffalo.
Yeah, I think that's where I think this card's really going to shine, but
yeah,
I don't know, man.
It opens up Salamangreat to being more susceptible to generic hand traps, and I don't like that, but losing debug yeah, like I feel like you kind of have to play this card now.
It's one of the things, like, everyone's always going to make that argument that this card loses the Ash Blossom, but, like, it's a consistency card. Like, why wouldn't you play more consistency cards?
Well, I don't know. Why weren't people playing Debug?
That's still weird to me.
One thing, if a Cyber's Hand Trap does come out, I feel like this card's going to get, I don't know.
Being able to search your hand trap's pretty wild.
Alright, and the last one, Cherubini, Ebon, Angel of the Burning Abyss.
I am super excited for this card, but I think it is very late.
Yeah, like, we should have got this card 6 months ago. Let BA have its fun. BA just doesn't have a win condition right now. Fairytale Snowbeat was just that important for the deck.
Well, I think it sucks because, like, what that deck does, like, Orcus is just a better deck.
Yeah, it's one of those decks you just want to play because you like the deck, you know?
Yeah, like, I super enjoyed 2015 Nationals format with all that deck, and I played BA for Nationals. And, like, my buddy Skinner has Cherubies, I'm actually super jealous. Well, like, it is super exciting that you have that card because you can play the deck, and, like, we have, like, a bunch of level 3 extenders and whatnot, so making Cherubini itself is, like, really, really easy. But it's just way, way too late. Like, if it would have came out the same time that Electromite came out, our format would have been wild. Like, you'd have had BA running around, you would have had full power Pendulum, well, not full power, but Pendulum running around, like, the game would have just been wild.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully BA gets some sort of either direct or indirect support, and they become more relevant, but right now you just really want to play. If you want to play BA, like, you need this card.
Oh, 100%.
Alright, so we'll move to the Ultras. We'll try to stick to the ones that are relevant rather than going through all of them. Firewall Exceed Dragon as pack filler.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably the most impactful one that I can think of is Dingirsu, the Orcus rank 8.
That card I think that card blows the Orcus deck wide open.
Yeah, Orcus
But,
went
like,
from tier 2 to I'm afraid of it now.
Yeah, I mean, it finally got its boss monster. That deck is, like, super real. I mean, we no longer have the rank up magic, the Phantom Knights rank up magic launch, so it's not getting turned into calamities on their turn 1 anymore. But I mean, like,
Yeah,
that card still has sweet combos, being able to protect itself and blow cards up. Like,
yeah, you still set up Fogblade, Counter Trap, plus being able to bring this back in Bardiche, so you get 2 pops plus 2 negates. Like, that's a pretty good board.
yeah, I mean, for basically one card, for like a 1.5 card combo, you just, like, get free monster. That's really scary.
Yeah, so Orcus is, I feel like, going to be a tier 1 contender this format for sure.
It's gonna be really good.
Alright. This card is kind of interesting. The World Gears of whatever.
What's it called?
It's the World Gears of Theological Demigiri. I don't even know how to say it.
Hold on, I will find
It's a Link 3. It doesn't have a deck right now, but it's towers and it can blow up the field. It's just, you have to use 3 level 5 or higher monsters. So I know Pendulum can play it because they can just get 3 level 6s on board relatively easily, depending on how broken their hand is. But I don't know if it'll see play. It's just interesting. It's a relatively interesting card.
I don't know. It's one of those cards where I think its summoning conditions a little too steep, but
All right,
we'll see.
This is a Salamangreat card, so I figure we'll mention it. What do you think about Recurrence?
I'm trying to pull it up right now.
So target 2 Salamangreats in your graveyard with different names, add them to your hand. If this card is destroyed by a card effect sent to graveyard, add 1 Salamangreat spell or trap from your deck to your hand except itself. You can only use each effect once per turn.
It might be it's like one of those, like, salvage-esque type cards.
Yeah, I know it works
Like,
with Foxy and Foxer really well because they can blow it up.
yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, because I remember like back in like 2014 and 2013 when you played Salvage and Mermails, getting like Diva and stuff like that was like really cool. But I think the game's too fast for that card to be like broken. Like, you can search it. Like, it's easy enough to search. So it's like, I think it has a place in the deck, but I think it has one of is where its place is. But I don't know if it's good enough to make the cut for the main deck.
Alright. This World Legacy Monstrosity. I've never read this card. Special summon 1 level 9 monster from your hand. Alright, this is not a good card. Moving on.
I mean, it summons that one guy out of your hand, and that triggers that. That's kind of cool, but...
the danger spell is, if you're playing pure danger, go for it. Valkyries, I'll pass.
I think, like, after that, like, most of the ultras are, like, negligible.
What is this, dude? Alright, moving on. Super Quantum, dude. That's the white one. The white.
Yeah, the white layer. That deck will be interesting.
That's a really good card for Super Quants if you're a fan.
I think someone who knows the deck real well will do well with it at like a regional level event, but I think that's as far as it goes.
And the link was here. Yeah, the deck definitely can do something on a regional level because the cards are actually pretty crazy, but you have to know how to pilot it.
For sure.
Alright. Super rares. I honestly don't really know any in this. Mystic Mine is probably the most. Mystic Mine and Crackdown are the only two I can recognize.
Mystic Mine is insane. I don't know why that card got printed. I really don't.
It's just like Kaiser Coliseum and Skill Drain.
It's Majesty's Fiend and a spell card. It's like you just play it and your opponent can't activate monster effects and they can't attack.
Yeah, so I was thinking about how I could use this, and it says you can't activate card effects, right? It doesn't negate card effects, so...
Yeah, that you can't activate monster effects, and you cannot declare attacks.
So, if I have this up plus Unicor's effect is still live, and if you summon more monsters than me, like, what do you do?
It's one of those cards that, unfortunately, I feel like spell and trap removal has to come back to the main deck, because, like, for example, like the biggest losers to this card are like Sekka's Lights decks, because they're all monster effect reliant, all of them.
No, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
And then like, I know a lot of decks, like for example, like Salmon Great and combo decks, they don't want to play spell and trap removal in the main deck. That's not a monster effect because it's unnecessary. But it's one of those things like you have to do it now for fear of that card. Because if you don't, like, Foxy can't out it because that's a monster effect. I mean, like, the card's just insane.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is just end your board with the same, or with less monsters than your opponent, because then they're just going to kill you.
Well, yeah, especially now. That's why, like, the burn decks are so popular now, because the only monster they play is itself.
Alright, so I think that's the only super... left.
Crackdown's gonna be
this card is that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. Like, it's not gonna break the game, but the decks that do use it, it's gonna frustrate the hell out of you.
We get this card in Altergeist, are still gonna be irrelevant. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, thank God it's not a normal trap card. I'm just gonna say that.
If it was a normal trap card, that'd have been broken.
Alright, what is this Pendulum card? Pendulum Halt?
I don't think it does anything, honestly.
If you have 3 or more face-up Pendulum monsters, different name in your extra deck, draw 2. Oh yeah, you can't draw after it resolves. Bad. They gotta be different names. Like, if they didn't have to be different names, you could double Wisdom Eye combo, but...
It is what it is.
I don't think there's really any rares or commons worth talking about.
Honestly, not really. But, I mean, I don't know, like you said, there's no, like, real archetypes that come out of this support set, but I think the support you get's insane.
Yeah, there's niche support here and there. Like, there's the level 2 Dinosaur Tuner. Maybe dinos can use that with Miscellany going to 3. Magical Musketeer, Crooked Crown. Oh, I thought that was the link for a second. I got excited.
Bro, if that was the link, I would have been going insane.
That card's wild. Alright, guys, so we're pretty much at 30 minutes. Joe, you got any closing comments?
Ultimate Rare Thunder Dragon Colossus is the ugliest fucking ulti in the world.
I would agree.
And,
all right, guys.
French has no sauce.
So, Douglas French has no sauce. And this has been X2 Drop Episode 8. If you've enjoyed the content, go check out our YouTube channels, The Duel Factory and Bingo HD. If you like card discussions, what else do we do?
Deck profiles, card discussion, matches, podcasts.
Yep. Just bear with us. We have full-time jobs, so we don't upload all the time. But we really enjoy what we do. So leave a comment down below and make sure you check us out next time. Peace out.
Okay, bye!